How's it going, everyone? Glad to have everyone in here. Want to do a live stream on a Saturday because I think it's been a little while since we talked in a live stream privately. So I wanted to answer, any questions, maybe take a look at some stocks. I'm not seeing as many deals as I was a couple weeks ago, which I think everyone's kind of feeling that way. Most people are really focused on AMC and GME right now, whether it's more for like political reasons that they're focused on it or because they think they're massive gains. Either way, people are really focused on that right now, which is kind of bring a little attention away from the general market. But overall, the general market has been doing really well the last couple of weeks, and we can take a look at that a little bit here today too. So feel free to leave any questions in here. I'll come back to questions here in a second, but otherwise I'll just run through some of the stocks that I'm looking at. I'll run through the watch list and talk about it a little bit, and we'll take a look at CoinMarketCap too, because some cryptos are down. But feel free, like I said, to leave any questions you have here, and then I'll answer them when I come back here in a second. I'm just going to flip to a different screen. So overall, let's take a look. The indexes were up on Friday. Let's see if we can. I've never pulled this up here before, but we can see if we can actually take a look at the 5-day here. So S&P 500 on the 5-day, let's take a look. So we went from 422 to 424.5. So up for the week, but not super significantly. If we look at the 1 month, we have come up from about 414 up to 424. So that's 2.5% on the month, pretty good. And then 3 month obviously is up a lot. So up almost 10%, maybe 7.5% or so on the 3 month. So obviously the general indexes are doing well. Pretty much is that an all-time high? Yeah, I think it's an all-time high here for the SPY here. And indexes are doing well. But what I think I'm seeing here is some more money flowing into growth stocks. We can see, like I said, AMC is stealing the limelight a lot right now, just because so many people are paying attention to it. And I mean, it's having massive volatility and massive runs. So I totally understand because, it is something that people are making a lot of money in. So AMC at $50, massive run there. Now, SENS, like I said the other day, it was up a significant amount, $4.22 after hours. So I trimmed half the position, like I said yesterday. I still like the company, but man, it's run a lot because it's up 150% or so since a couple weeks ago. So definitely one that has run up pretty significantly. It's at about 80% of its all-time high. So I want to trim some on that. Lordstown Motors got smashed after they said that they might not even have enough cash to manufacture vehicles. Honestly, I don't know why people bought this the other day. Like it went up 7.6%. Man, I wouldn't be taking a bet on Lordstown Motors right now. I mean, they just came out and said that they might not even have enough cash to manufacture after they went through the SPAC process. That's a little suspect to me. It's not a good vote of confidence that they can't manage their money right, or they couldn't calculate right how much it would cost. And I don't know, I haven't heard a good explanation for why it's costing more than they expected, but I wouldn't bet on that. XPeng, this isn't one that I've looked at in a while. I'll pull it up here because I want to see how long how far it's come up, because it went down pretty significantly too. Yeah, it went down to $25, $23, $22.73, and has almost doubled since then. Since, what is this, the 14th of May? Yeah, 14th of May, and it's come up almost 100%, about 90% or something like that. I haven't looked at XPEV in a while. It's not one that I'm super interested in, but I realize that they are growing pretty quickly. But again, I haven't looked at the recent delivery numbers. Fubo, it's come up a lot too since its lows. I haven't invested more in it since I bought it originally. This one is pretty high risk, high reward, in my opinion. It's going to be really dependent on whether they're able to get a hold of that gambling market. So if they can't get a hold of the gambling market, it's going to be tough for them. They're really going to have to expand into that, because I think eventually people won't want to pay. Well, they've been growing subscribers, even though they charge a lot for streaming. But I think, again, for profitability, because it is so hard to actually make money in streaming unless you have massive size. And I suppose if you're able to charge more like Fubo, it definitely helps. But they still need something that's going to generate a lot of high margin for them, because right now they are losing money. Neo, come back a good amount since the low 30s up to 46. STEM, I believe that was in the low 20s, I want to say, before. Now it's come up to 33. Peloton, I bought at 84, and I think I sold at 95 or 100, just because it fell a lot after about a month ago. So it's come up a decent amount. GameStop, a lot of people are paying attention to that. I'll go through these a little bit faster. What I'm getting at here, GHVIs come up from basically $11 up to $16. I'm just not seeing as many deals. Like Palantir, when I was able to buy it at, let's see, where was it? It fell down to 1706. I picked it up, I think, in the 17s. We're just up a significant amount, like 50 to 100% on a lot of these different growth stocks. So right now I am looking for deals. I think like Coinbase and Voyager are deals, but again, that is really tied into the crypto market. So if crypto doesn't do well, these things are going to get smashed, especially because people are already curious about them already, because they've grown so much over the last year. They don't think it can happen again. So if crypto falls significantly from here, or falls off favor, which I don't think it really will, but a lot of people are worried about the bear market. That's another reason I think these are down so much, because I mean, there's nothing growing like Coinbase and Voyager on the market. There's nothing that's growing revenue this quickly and that is pretty profitable. So with these, I think people are discounting them because of the crypto winter and because they're not sure that crypto is going to be here to stay. So I think those are probably the best deals on the market. I'm already kind of overexposed in crypto though, so I haven't been picking up as much of them, but I might buy a little bit more here soon. We have Walt Disney. It stayed in the 170s to 190s for the last couple of months, after they weren't growing as much since maybe December or so, because they were scaling up their business so quickly on Disney Plus. Teladoc, it's starting to come up a little bit. It was in the 130s, I believe. And then we have Innovative Industrial Properties. It's a cannabis REIT. So I really like this one. I don't talk about it very often. Well, I like it, but I also get worried. So they loan to companies that are in the marijuana industry and that can't get loans. So it's really hard for these companies to get loans from banks these days, because a lot of the banks don't work with them. So I really like them. However, as I think that weed will get legalized, I'm not sure how well their business model will hold up. They have long-term tenants in a lot of these locations, but I'm worried, okay, if it becomes legalized and then, hey, after 13, 15 years, they can't rent these properties out for the same type of multiple that they're getting today, I think it will hurt the price. So even just the news of it becoming legalized, it's hard to tell what will happen to IIPR's price based on that news. And that one's come up from like $40 or $50 up to $200 in the last year and a half, or year and 3 months. SFTW has just been hanging out around $10. I sold a good portion. Actually, I think I sold all of that one, just because there were so many deals a couple weeks ago, and this one was just staying strong at $10-ish. Then we have CleanSpark, actually down on the day, up a little bit after hours. CleanSpark, I think, is another company that Wall Street just doesn't see the value in yet, until they, I think, are going to be pushed up significantly. So right now it did make a nice comeback up to $20. So it had fallen all the way down pretty significantly. Let's see. It's fallen down to 13, and then come all the way back to 2040. So I think once they have a couple more quarters, or maybe even just one quarter of revenue growth, it's gonna be off to the races. I think it could easily pop up pretty significantly. I do have some long-term calls in that, and then some shares too, a good amount of shares. So let's see. Sorry, that's for a different video. I will answer some questions here, and then we can take a look at crypto if we want. So sorry, I've been kind of talking a lot there. Let's see. Abkar, how's it going? Or Cesar. Lordstown is a sad story. Can't believe they actually make it despite having such a big factory. Yeah, I don't know if they will make it. That's a good question. Does it look like I'm on a green screen right now? I just noticed that because I have this new black background. I can't tell how well you guys can actually see, and I have a black shirt too. But it looks like I'm a floating head or something now. Tesla got no boost from the Plaid event. Yeah, I think right now Tesla's just kind of range bound. A lot of people are interested in other stocks like AMC, like GameStop, and I think Tesla. I think a lot of people are pissed off at Elon right now too because of all the crypto stuff. So he's definitely burned some bridges. Some people don't care at all, but it is interesting to see just how that has all shaken out a little bit. You got Palantir in the pre-market for 17. Yeah, I don't think it was exactly 17, but it was in the 17s. I could always look back too from that day because I posted it right as I bought it. I bought Palantir, Tattooed Chef, and Clean Spark, and I bought a significant amount of each of them right then. Crypto fear index is only 28 now. Yeah, yeah. It's only extreme fear. I don't know if extreme fear is 28, but it might just be fear. But yeah, it's still significant. I think we're just not seeing like the same amount of exuberance that we saw before. Like the people that were some people that were interested in it before were just interested because it was going up so much. So definitely some people are fearful because they're those types of people that don't really like crypto, but they're invested in it because it was going up so much. Any thoughts on UPST and Wish? Let me pull those up. So I know that Wish went up a significant amount. I don't know UPST though. With both of these, I haven't looked deeply into their businesses. Let's take a look here though. Upstart. Okay. Yeah, so Upstart was rocketing for a while too. I know. Okay, so yeah, it went from $30 all the way up 500%. Yeah, so it's come down a decent amount. Yeah, I should do deeper due diligence on Upstart. I haven't really looked into it very deeply. Obviously, I know a lot of people are excited about it, but it's only $10 billion. I think you guys can see this, right? Oh, no, you can't. Sorry, 1 second. I have another window. It pulled up another window, so. I was just looking at the chart there for it. We'll take a look at Wish here too. Wish down 50% over the last 6 months. Yeah, but I had that crazy day of what, 50% or so. I've shopped on the Wish platform before. I don't have any strong feelings about it though, because I think I bought like one thing on it, but it's really essentially just knockoffs, right? Of other things. So I don't know. I don't know how people feel about it, about the actual product. Let's take a look at Upstart's revenue here though, and earnings and stuff like that. Seeking Alpha is so slow. And then I'll keep on I'll keep on answering some questions here. Total revenues growing by 100%, and about 50%, then 25% or so, then another 25%. Okay, so growing pretty quickly. We're on the edge of profitability here. Let's take a look at the balance sheet. So I don't really know too much about Upstart as a company and their business model. That's something I'd have to look into more. But yeah, it fell down 15%. 257 million. Okay, so pretty good really good current ratio. 5. So current ratio, cash divided by total current liabilities, and total liabilities 168. So not bad there either. So they have a good amount of cash. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look deeper into the actual company itself, because that's not something that's very quick. I like looking at their business model. A lot of people are excited. Let's go to tip ranks too. We'll just do this real quick. I want to see what the analyst's expectation is for this. The average price target is 133. So not a lot of upside, but how much? Okay, six people covering it. I don't give a ton of weight to this, but I do like to know what analysts are expecting. So it looks like just Goldman Sachs is really delayed. They did this 5 months ago. All the other ones are newer. This one too is 3 months old, and it's 25% downside. Okay. So we looked at those. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to answer a couple questions here. Then we'll take a look at crypto too. Any updates on Sen's FDA approval? So I haven't heard anything specifically from the company, but they did give those results that were really positive about their 180-day system. ACIC, I'm not invested in this. I haven't been watching to see if anything's happened recently. I gave that update maybe a month ago. It was probably one of the times that the market was coming down. It might have been 2 months ago or 3. Might have been in March, that I was selling it because the growth multiple was so high. I liked it as a spec play originally, but the growth multiple was so high, and just the price of the company was so high because it was being valued at 4.5 billion. I believe it was 4.5 billion. I want to see what the price is doing now. Yeah, so price is right at $10 right now, pretty much just because, most likely because people don't want to sell it for less than the redemption value. But the market cap, it says, is 625 million, but that's just of the SPAC. The company itself is being valued around 4.5 billion, I think. So that's just really high. That's really expensive when we were moving into a market that was more risk off. So I didn't really want to invest in it. So I sold it around $10 to buy other stuff. But I haven't been paying attention to see if there's anything new, any new developments with the company recently. Okay, Sam, I have an important question for you. I know you are a firm believer in crypto for long term. So how do you envision crypto can work in the real world? So there are a lot of different reasons it can work in the real world. Some people already are using it. So I know, like, we don't walk down the street and go to McDonald's and see crypto in real life or something like that, but there are use cases for it. I forgot which African government just is going to start a program using a smart contract platform. So they're using, I think it's Chainlink. I'm still looking more into Chainlink, but I believe it's Chainlink. I could be wrong. So sorry for anyone that knows this and I'm not saying it right, but they're using a program to connect real world data with smart contracts in insurance. So it's some African country where if it rains a certain amount, and there's like a meter or something that measures it, if it rains a certain amount, this Chainlink takes real world data and puts it over into the digital world. So it takes, let's say it rains 3 inches, and a farmer goes and claims that he has a flood, and he claims it on his insurance, it will measure what happens in the real world. And if it actually rains a certain amount, they will give them a portion or all of their insurance money. So it's a way to take out the middleman. So it's a lot cheaper for the farmer because they don't have to pay the extra fees that come along with just having an insurance person that needs to respond to them when they have questions and stuff like that. Because it's a smart contract platform, right when it rains that amount, they get access to it essentially. So it's a fair way for both parties, and it's more impartial. Now, there are other use cases for it too, like El Salvador just made it a currency that they can use in taxes in stores. They have to take it because it is it's legal tender, so it is just as good as cash there now. So that will be, I've heard both. I've heard that's going to happen in the next 3 months. I've also heard that it's like right away. I don't know which one is the case, but either way, it's the bill's already passed, so it's legal tender there. Some other countries have talked about it too, but there are all different kinds of reasons for it. I know a lot of people just see like, oh, Dogecoin's just a joke and no one's using crypto for anything, but there are real world applications already. But a lot of people still don't understand it. It takes a long time to understand it. What do you think about ORPH? On the 17th, they have a catalyst coming. Alan, hello to you too. Let's take a look. ORPH, I think is what it was. Let's take a look. Yep, ORPH. So I don't know anything about them really. Holy cow. They spiked 300% though. And then they came down 55%. Wow. Okay. That's so much. That would make me a little bit worried. It looks kind of like a pump and dump or something like that. Oh, it went up way more. It went up to 55. Oh man, 1,000% a day. Okay. 2.81 billion DKK. It led to 20 volatility halts. I really don't know anything about this. Biopharmaceutical company from Denmark. Okay. I don't know why this box keeps on showing up. Jeez. A pivotal trial of a treatment for Lou Gehrig's disease failed to meet primary and secondary endpoints, seeking the stock to plummet 33% that day. Okay. There's no news released on Thursday, and the last announcement was from May 7. Okay, if there really was no news on it, I'd be cautious of that. Okay, so it just soared as Reddit traders pumped the meme stock. Yeah, I'd be careful of that. If you know about it beforehand, that's awesome. Maybe you can make some money on it, but that would make me so nervous. But again, I haven't done the research into it, so who knows? Maybe there is something coming up, like you said, in the next few days. Is it a good time to buy SPAC stocks? I am of the firm believer that if you think that the company behind or that the SPAC is merging with is good, I think now is a great time to buy. But you have to make sure that you value it correctly, just like any other stock, right? Because they're coming in with a predetermined valuation, and then you have to multiply that by the price of the SPAC. So it gets a little bit more confusing for some people, but you have to make sure it's being valued correctly. Because if you just buy anything that you think will like is a good company, but you're not looking at valuation, you can be thrown off a lot. Like ACIC is a company that's making no revenue for a couple of years, and they're being valued at 4.5 billion. And I don't know if there's a good reason for valuing it at that, because they don't go through why they're being valued where they're being valued in their investor presentation. Yes, SPAC attack is still going on. Yeah, there's just a lot of fear in SPACs, especially as they were talking about cracking down on SPACs. My confusion about cryptos is how are they going to be used in the real world with thousands of coins floating around and tons added every day? How is commerce going to work using them? So each crypto is different, right? Not all of them are adding tons of coins every day. Some are actually adding less coins every single day. Some are like Bitcoin get halved every 4 years or so. So some of them actually take some out of existence all the time too. They're deflationary. So yeah, they're all different kinds of currencies though, and different kinds of commodities that are worth different values too. So it's just like another thing that people are going to have to wrap their head around, is that there are all these different prices. You hold ACTC. Let me see. What is that? ACTC. No, I don't hold ArcLight Clean Transition Corp. I haven't really looked too much into it. It looks like a SPAC, went all the way up to 30 and then back down to 13 and then back up to 19. Oh, Proterra. Yeah, so I might have bought it at one point and then sold it. I don't know if I did that. If I did, I definitely told everyone in the Patreon, but that sounds like one of the ones I might have gotten in and out of. I know there was one that was supposed to merge with Proterra that didn't, and I own that one. Matterport, what's my exit strategy? I don't have one at this point. I'm not even thinking about selling it. I like it long term. I'm not worried about if it hits 18 or 20 or anything like that. I think that this company is one that I'll hold on to for a very long time because I feel like they'll be able to expand a lot over the coming years. Thoughts on EH and FUV? Okay, let's pull those up here. Arcimoto, electric vehicle company headquartered in Eugene. So a lot of these, okay, they sell fun utility vehicle, FUV, a tandem 2-seat. Yeah, I think these look awesome, honestly. I haven't done a deep dive on Arcimoto in a long time. I know who was that was really bullish on it. Was it Meet Kevin or Dead Inside? Someone was really bullish on it. I haven't looked at them in a while though. Yeah, up 100% from their low a couple weeks ago. I haven't looked at them in a while. I think I did do a deep dive at some point on them, but I didn't invest in them. Then what was the other one? Ehang. So my thing with these drones is I know that the market's going to grow a lot with them. I just don't know which will be the leader, and I don't know enough about drones and I haven't really dived super deep in them to figure out which one's going to win. This one's another one. It went down 83%, and then it's up 77%, man. So yeah, with these, I just don't have a good feeling for which one will win out in the end yet. What do you guys think? Do you guys know what drone companies are you invested in? I'm curious. Apple wants to hire a crypto expert. Yeah, so I saw that too. There are a couple companies, Facebook and Amazon, that were also hiring people that had blockchain experience. Do you think that governments will come around, work with all these cryptos? I don't think they'll work with all these cryptos, but they'll probably work with a good number of countries 10, 20, 30 years from now will probably work with different cryptos. Like I said, El Salvador is already doing that, accepting it as legal tender. Other countries are looking at it too, like Panama. I don't know if they'll accept them or if they'll just, allow them to be used for more things. I don't know. Or just not be as restricted as them. I have 25,000 in my savings account. Should I move that to Fidelity for unlimited day trades in your opinion? Safety, alternatives. So first of all, not a financial advisor. I should say that. So I think that depends. If you need the money for something, and I guess you're talking about probably just keeping it in cash so that you have more cash in the account. I'm thinking their limit's probably 25,000. I think WeBull's that too, where you can make unlimited day trades. I think that depends. Do you really want day trades? Are you okay with the risk of day trades? Because I think a lot of people try day trading and it is pretty risky depending on what you're doing, especially if you're going off of like technical analysis and stuff like that, especially at first. Yeah, so I'll keep it to that. But yeah, if you're just keeping in cash, I don't see a big problem with it. If you really want day trading, the only thing is if you do need it quickly, just know it usually takes a few days to get it out too. So that's kind of my thinking on it. Crypto ETFs in Canada. So in order to stay competitive, I'd say yes. Yeah. So I think like I said, it depends whether they're going to use it, like if they're going to allow you to pay taxes with it and make it legal tender versus just approving ETFs and stuff like that. Like there's a range of different things that could happen. DME, AMC after run up on January, we had a huge sell-off in growth stocks, retail favorite stocks. So do you think after AMC and clothing, sell-off is coming soon? So I don't know if that was the cause of the sell-off versus something like people just worried more about inflation. So we saw a growth stock sell-off. There was some fear because of that hedge fund that went out of business, or it was way over leveraged. I think we could see part of a pullback, but I think people will be willing to buy it up. And I think when you look at how many people are actually invested in AMC trying to short it, I don't know how that stacks up versus the whole hedge fund market and large pension funds and all these other funds that have a lot of money. I'm guessing it's still only a small percentage. So if those companies lose a lot of money and have to pull off other positions, I think there will be some buying pressure. Yeah, Proterra, the Tremas back for electric buses. Thoughts on MP? Okay, let me pull that up because I haven't looked at the price recently. I still like MP. I'm still holding it. I haven't bought it in a little while just because we did see a pretty nice dip. What was that, a month ago? Yeah, so we did have a nice dip there for a while in the 24, 25 range. Honestly, it's still down a good amount from after they had those great earnings and they smashed expectations. And when is their next earnings day? I think they just have one. They're still down 35%. Let's see if I can pull up their investor presentation page. I'm curious if they have earnings soon or not, or if they just had them. Okay, they have their annual shareholders meeting here soon. Okay, they just had their first quarter results. I think, what was it though? Their fourth quarter results that smashed so much. I hate these presentations though. They're just like ingrained in here. They're so slow. I still like MP. I think it's going to be a company that's very important years down the road. And it's kind of a hedge against like China trying to pull any shenanigans. So I like it long term. I'm not selling it. GoPro. Let's pull up GoPro. I know that someone was talking about them possibly being bought out there for a while. I don't know anyone that owns a GoPro and talks about GoPros though. Okay, let's look at the 5-year. Oh man, I didn't realize they're up 450% since the low. They were only being valued at like 300 million or something like that. But yeah, I don't know anyone that's super excited about GoPro, so I haven't really looked at them recently. Let's see, why did they pop? Wall Street bets. another stock pushed by Wall Street bets. Yeah, I guess it probably fits their criteria. Let's see. See how much they're shorted. I'm guessing a lot. Then I'll probably have to go here in a few minutes. I'll get through the rest of the questions, but Oh, this isn't shortsqueeze.com, but we can take a look here. Current share short is about 18 million. Okay, so a lot compared to their volume here. 18 million times 13 is what, like 200 million. So about, it's only 10% short or so. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm not too interested in the underlying business model. Okay, we're gonna go rapid fire because I did talk about how we're gonna look at crypto for a second. Foolish Bull, happy to help however I can. You plan on holding during the inevitable crypto winter or rinse and repeat? I'm still going back and forth on that, whether I want to try to pull out in time. I don't think I will try to sell. I think I'll just be picking up more. And I realize some people are going to be pissed because I'm going to be saying that I'm buying on the dip, and then it's going to dip more. And then I'm going to say that I'm buying on the dip, and then it's going to dip more. And I realize some people will be annoyed because they're like, oh, you didn't time it perfectly at the bottom, or you should have sold or something. But I would rather do that because I think there is so much mass adoption and so much changing happening that I don't think we'll see the same type of winter that we have in the past. And who knows, some country could say that they're adopting it or buying it, and it could push up the price back up into a new like bull market or something like that. Just because it hasn't happened before doesn't mean it won't happen in the future. What do I use to follow short interest? I have Ortex. So it's still really hard to, like you said, it's hard to evaluate short squeezes because a lot of them are delayed and stuff like that. I've been using Ortex, and I've also just been like, when I'm not real curious about it, I've just been using shortsqueeze.com or MarketBeat. Any thoughts on Fisker? That's another one. I just haven't been looking into a lot of the EV companies because of the fact that I just think that Tesla is going to win out, and I think other traditional car manufacturers are going to win. But Fisker, I've not looked into super deep in a while. Have you ever looked into ABML? Yes, I own it. I bought it 5-6 months ago or something like that, and I've just held it. Oh, GoPro is building drones. Interesting. Best 3 SPACs to own at this time. Okay, so I have not been doing the same type of SPAC investing that I did before. I used to have most of my stocks were SPACs, but now I don't have that. So let's see. What do I actually own that's a SPAC anymore? I think a lot of my SPACs have actually gone through and merged. So I still like GHVI, like I said. I still hold VACQ. So that's a space SPAC. GNPK, I hold them too. I don't have a lot invested in them though, so I don't want to say that's like one of the best SPACs out there. Just because I don't have a ton invested in them because they are space SPACs, so they're inherently riskier. But those are really my only SPACs, I think, right now. There might be a few other ones that I'm not seeing because I have a couple different portfolios, but a lot of them aren't SPACs anymore that I owned before because they've actually gone through. Your thoughts on Palantir for the short and long term? Short term, really hard to tell on any stock, but especially on Palantir because it is valued pretty highly. A lot of people have high expectations for it because it is, almost a $40 billion company or so. It might be over 40 now, but it is down significantly still too. So long term, I like it. I think data is going to make a lot of money in the future. It's really important now, and anything that can stop, tragedy and stuff like that, like the oil pipeline or whatever pipeline that was that got taken over. Countries and companies will pay a lot so they don't have things like that happen again. So I think that is good for Palantir moving forward because they are the ones that control the data. They can plug it in their algorithm and save companies, tons of money. What's your favorite to least favorite from these Palantir, Coin, ChargePoint, and Arrow? Tenzin. So not financial advice. But based on the ones that I have, I like, okay, so Palantir and Coinbase I both really like, but Coinbase is riskier just for the fact that it's really reliant on crypto. So higher risk, higher reward, in my opinion, than Palantir. Palantir, I think, will do well. ChargePoint, uh, ChargePoint's tough because I've heard from people in real life that don't like ChargePoint, that have Teslas and other electric vehicles, because they've had poor experiences with them. And I don't want to talk about any stock in a negative way necessarily, but they just really didn't like ChargePoint chargers, and they didn't even consider going to them anymore. It's also just kind of a difficult business in general because I don't know. I feel like most people don't need chargers out and about anyways. But I kind of changed my view on that a couple months ago. And then Aero, like I said, I don't know too much about Aero. Actually, let's see. I think I actually let me pull it up here. I look at so many companies, it's hard to remember what each one is. I think, okay, let's just pull up a picture here. Yeah. That's what I thought. I think it was Dead Inside that was really bullish on this one. I like the idea of this one, but it's just another one that I'm just not feeling strong enough about to want to buy into. But I think they had a lot of cash at one point, right? They're worth 200 million now. Okay, I need to pull them up on Seeking Alpha real quick to see, because I like investing in these more speculative stocks if they do have a lot of cash. Just it really cushions the blow if there's a sell-off. It's at $5. Yeah, because it was expensive after Denside talked about it. I remember that because I was looking into it. I'm like, oh man, that looks kind of interesting. But it was just way too expensive. Here, I'll show my screen real quick. Okay. Balance sheet. Okay, 91 million. So that is pretty attractive. I mean, if it fell more, I'd be really interested in it. Half their market cap's in cash. See, this is what annoys me though. Revenue of 5 million, then goes down to 1.6 2 years later. Goes down to less than 1 a year later. So must have had like some big contract or something. But they're losing a lot of money. I mean, look at this. Earnings per share negative $3. Jeez. I mean, that's what, $100 million or so? They were, let's see, where were they a couple of years ago when they were losing so much money? Seeking Alpha is so slow, and it's even slower when you're live streaming. Holy cow, this thing is slow. No, this can't be right. Sometimes these charts do this. It wasn't $300,000 in 2002, so maybe it's hooking together some data on an old company or something. Okay. Bullish on Lion Electric long term. That's another one in the EV sector. I looked at it when they announced. I looked at it before that, but I haven't kept up with them. I don't own Torchlight. I'm still burnt over TPGY. Yeah, that was unfortunate. It's at 13 now. Yeah, that was annoying too, because I was pretty excited about that. I mean, it could still happen with EV Box. Am I invested in CRSR? No, I'm not. Let's see. Corsair Gaming, no. I've been back and forth on this a little bit. I'm not a huge gamer, so I don't have a strong conviction in the industry, I guess. I played mobile games for years, and I don't really care about gaming consoles. But yeah, I think overall gaming will get bigger. But yeah, I just haven't really gone into that. Solo, I'm not investing. Okay, so the EV companies, again, like a lot of the smaller ones, I think Tesla will win out. I think a lot of other traditional car manufacturers will win too. So I've not like done deep dives on all the different EVs. What are the best stocks for short term? I mean, I think that's always the question, right? It's so I just want to be careful because whenever you talk about the best to own for the short term, you're talking about taking higher risks, right? Because you think that they're going to go up short term. So naturally, if you think they're going to go up in a short term, if they don't go up in a short term because of some catalyst not actually panning out, then it's really risky. Ones that I think will probably do well short term, a lot of the momentum stocks. So a lot of the ones that have been going up recently, if they just continue, I think they'll be great. Otherwise, I like Tattooed Chef for the next couple of years. I'm just going to count next couple of years as short term. I like Clean Spark. I like what else? There are a lot of companies I invest in that I just feel like are going to be good long term, and I don't really care too much short term. But okay, I'm just pulling up more to take a look. I mean, I think STEM will do really well this year too because they're going to grow. They're supposed to grow 400% revenue or so. Tattoo Chef, like I said, some of these Sens might be good too, even though it's gone up a lot and I sold part of it. If they get their 180-day system approved, that should be good, but maybe it'll be a sell-off then too. Oh, the focus seems to be on my mats and not my face. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's my camera on my computer, so I can't really change focus, I don't think, on it. Here, see, I can just move my head back. So let's talk about crypto real quick, and then I have to go, like I said. Overall, let's take a look at the market. Bitcoin is down, just took a little bit of a dip overnight. All these fell last night. I was close to buying some more, but I ended up not because I had those limit orders set and it didn't hit my limits. Ethereum down 10% on the week. Bitcoin down just a little bit. BNB fell down pretty significantly too. Cardano was at 130, 135, 136 or so. And I almost bought more, but I didn't. Again, I have certain limits set. I already put that in the Discord a little while ago. So if you guys want to see that, you can look at the crypto I'm buying and selling tab in there. And I put up all my buy orders. But overall, market seems to be falling down a little bit. Altcoins haven't been doing really well either since Bitcoin went from 33 up to 38 or so. The altcoins didn't go up as significantly as Bitcoin for the most part. So it's kind of interesting. I think it's just a little bit of a lull, but I'm still bullish overall. I think there's still some manipulation going on too to get lower prices for some of these because people are starting to get excited. A lot of billionaires have changed their mind on cryptos in general, but I will continue to dollar cost average into these over time. Now, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad that we could do this. Hopefully helped with some questions and stuff like that. I hope you guys have a great Saturday or Sunday or Friday, wherever you guys are at. I think almost everyone should be on Saturday now, though. But I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.